I wanted to speak a little bit more about the pain body and addiction. And I just had a dream the other day, and it's very interesting. Um, had a dream about there's a group that started in Long Beach. They are actually called Sublime. Some of you may be familiar. Anyway, the lead singer, uh, Bradley Knoll, um, he actually died of a heroin addiction. And, you know, it's strange because it struck me as I was in that sleep-wake state that the pain body in addiction is just so powerful. I mean, that is exactly what is going on. I mean, I think Eckhart Tolle's description of the pain body, he didn't touch too much on addiction. He did talk about addiction a little bit, but really, as it applies to addiction, is really, really powerful. I mean, literally, that's what it is. An addiction is an obsession of the mind and a compulsion of the body. That's how it's been described in some programs. And, you know, that is exactly, I mean, can you imagine someone being emotionally and physically addicted to heroin? I mean, that is the pain body that we're carrying around. It's not the spiritual essence of who we are. And in fact, I've had clients come to me with people that are addicted in their family. And the way Eckhart describes it, it's as if, he personifies the pain body. And that's really a good analogy in terms of addiction, because when people are addicted to something and in your family and you're exposed to it and you see them, you realize that they're not themselves. It's as if they are possessed by something else. And in Eckhart's case, he calls it the pain body. In addiction, that's a really good analogy, because the person is no longer in touch with their authentic self. They're completely taken over by the disease. And usually, what helps the most with people that are addicted is a spiritual program. So, because they're not connected with their self or with spirit. And so they're in pain, and hence that's why they're using. And there's usually some trauma or event or something. There's a reason that they're using so heavily. There's something that they're trying not to feel. There's something that they're trying to escape from. But I just thought, wow, what a wonderful example. And if you listen to any, I listen to everything from classical to classic rock to hip hop to the Sublime is kind of a, it's not for everybody, but he's saying a lot about addiction in his songs. He's saying a lot. The song that was in my mind at the time when I woke up was What I Got, and it's really a sad, I mean, here's this song that went to #1, it turned gold, and it came out, just months after he died. I mean, he was at the pinnacle of his life, as most rock stars are when, this stuff happens. And, had just recently been married, and but was really fighting with addiction. And, his songs just cry out, this sort of pain, this pain body. I mean, they just cry out for help. And it's really sad, and in that song, What I Got, he sings about love. He sings about, loving's what he's got, but also he talks about, the drug addiction in his family, and with his mom, and how, the different things she's gone through, and it just really cried out to me. And it's really strange because I didn't know this, but his actual death was on May 25th, so we're actually coming up on his anniversary. I have no idea why I had this dream, except maybe to express it to you. And, his anniversary of his death was in '96, I believe. And so, it's been a while, and it's just really sad, and it really struck me that, somebody with such potential and with such talent would, just be totally consumed by this disease, and we know that it does. And I think Eckhart has described that really well with the pain body. And so there you have it. I just want to share that with you. Maybe it makes it a little bit more real. People can recognize it when they see it. It's real easy to see in addiction, and you often find with people that are not familiar with programs and such, that they will, try to argue with somebody and try to, really talk them out of, whatever it is they're doing. But what you realize is that you're talking to the pain body. I mean, Eckhart Tolle talks about that, and you cannot reason or argue with the pain body, and because the pain body is this cumulative, conditioned story of experiences that this person has going on. And so that's really a good way to see it. And if we recognize that, and we're present, and we keep our awareness, that's really all we can do for somebody who is in that kind of pain. And he talks about that as well. And it's true with addicts as well. There's nothing that anybody else can do except to be there. And when the person is ready, to give up their addiction, or at least to move in that direction, you're there to put out a hand, and you're there to lend an ear. But as far as trying to actually change somebody or make them not do something, no, we can't do that. We can't do that.